Ariel. Hello and welcome. We're going to be talking about tornadoes today, tornadoes in Europe specifically, because I was always told, I don't know why or where this came from, but I was always told Europe really didn't get tornadoes. I don't remember where exactly I heard that, but I think I've heard it just a couple times here and there throughout my life. And here in the U.S., tornadoes are, I would say, pretty common, right? Well, Tornado Alley, as it's called here, used to be kind of northern, middle, central of the country, and it's actually moved more south. So basically northern Illinois where I'm at. I've also lived in New Mexico as well. Those are not in Tornado Alley, so I guess I'm pretty lucky. But yeah, especially in the southeast and the south central part of the U.S., it's very common. So I looked up some numbers to actually see if that was true about tornadoes being ultra rare in Europe. And when it's interesting, when I Google it, let me show you guys. When you Google, does Europe get tornadoes? It says there's actually about 300 to 400 tornadoes each year throughout Europe. And what's funny is scroll down, you look at some, subreddits and some article topics. A lot of them revolve around why there are no earthquakes or no tornadoes in Europe. Why are tornadoes so rare in Europe, right? But then you'll look at some answers and it says tornadoes are not rare in Europe. In fact, Europe is one of the world's tornado hotspots. So that's pretty interesting to see that correlation. Tornadoes are rare, but then you look up the numbers and they're definitely common in Europe, I guess. I will say if they get 300 to 400, look at the U.S. When you Google how many tornadoes in the U.S. per year, it's around 1,200 every year. So I guess you can still expect 4 times the amount of tornadoes here in the United States as opposed to basically all of Europe. But the point is 300 to 400 tornadoes a year is pretty significant, especially to someone who learned at one time, falsely of course, that I thought they got basically next to no tornadoes. So moving on to Tornadoes Europe, this is a channel, will be linked in the description down below. Definitely check them out. We're just going to look at a few clips from this compilation of destructive tornadoes in Europe. So let's take a look and tell me where you're watching from. Are tornadoes common in your immediate vicinity? Where would that be? And if you maybe remember any of these or witnessed any of these, at least the ones that we show here, definitely let me know. I've been lucky enough to see only at most some, kind of sketchy looking funnel clouds forming, but never a full-on tornado near me. So I guess I've been lucky. So look at this right away. This is in Germany, an F2. Remember, EF1 all the way up to EF5, I think. So the lower the number, the less significant, the less wind speed. So EF2 is not that bad. Whereas EF4 and EF5 could be really bad and destructive. I mean, for F2, that looks pretty bad, actually. Right? It's not going to blow that building over. But it's definitely going to throw some debris around in big branches. This looks like it says conflicting sources. This is near either Ukraine or Russia, perhaps near the border somewhere. Jeez, that's pretty bad. Oh, look at this. We have an F3 from France. Oh my God, that one, oh my God, that's moving structures. Poland coming up with an F3 plus. 2008, that's pretty bad. Luxembourg? I can't even find Luxembourg on a map. But this tornado did. Geez, this looks pretty bad.
Hi.
Ooh.
Oh, I loot.
Oh my God. Italy. Italy gets tornadoes? I didn't know that either. I mean, I'm still shocked about Europe as a whole getting hundreds of tornadoes per year, but Italy is just not somewhere I would associate with tornadoes. My God, look at that. How freaky. That's a big boy, an F4? How freaking terrifying. Germany coming in again. This is May of 2015.
Der ist reingeknallt.
Oh my God, look at the lightning.
Der ist rein.
Or no, that's not lightning. Well, kind of lightning in another form. That's the power lines. Getting all mangled.
Der hat sie raus.
Jeez, that is massive. How scary. It's funny because my whole life I've seen tornado footage, you know, on TV back in the day. Not so much anymore. I don't really watch TV. But, of course, I guess through, you know, YouTube videos or Instagram or whatever, right? And it's always been in the U.S. Like, I've literally only seen United States tornado footage. So I just associate, you know, especially in the middle, like the Great Plains of the U.S., right? Big open farmland and tornadoes coming through. That's like what I picture. So seeing the different countries, seeing the different scenery and seeing tornadoes, that's so new to me. It's very fascinating and bizarre, quite frankly. Like seeing tornadoes in Poland and in Italy, like what? This is bad. Ooh, my God. Oh my God, a trampoline went flying. This one looks fierce. How scary are tornadoes, man? They're so messed up. Jeez. That's dangerously close to that house over there. Or structure, barn, I don't know what it was. Look at this, like, perfect looking cone shaped one in Austria. July of 2017. Anyone remember this one? That's just an F1. That's more actually just fun to see because it's got that thin shape. And, you know, usually F1s aren't terrible compared to the stronger ones. Still scary, though. That one's just going to pick up debris, basically. Little branches and stuff. Oh my God. EF2 in Germany. I will say a lot of these, other than maybe the Italy one, at least it seems like a lot of these are indeed in, you know, more rural countryside areas. It's not like we're seeing a big tornado in Vienna or Paris or something, right? I mean, typically, I'm sure the tornadoes follow the same rules they do here. Typically, you don't see a tornado in downtown Chicago or downtown, you know, Miami or something. Like, of course not, right? They're usually out in more rural areas. But yeah, that's one thing I just thought I should point out, even though it may be obvious. Remember, we're skipping all around this video. It's a nice long compilation. So make sure to check it out in the description. Check them out so you can watch this whole thing. I'm skipping around way ahead now. That is just something that I've never seen before.
Anzi, il problema è... Almeno la macchina, Mario, forse non pensi, troppo...
How freaky.
Vittoria, prendi la macchina, mettila dentro! La piccina a scuola! I bambini a scuola, Vittorio! Un casino,
I don't know if this... I obviously, I don't know Italian, so I don't know what he's saying, but I don't know if this guy is, like, scared and kind of frantic right now, or if he's excited. I don't know. I mean, you tend to get both reactions depending on the person. Some people are really excited when they see big storms and tornadoes, and some people are scared to death, you know? Oh my God, in Turkey as well? Look at that. That's a thin one. How weird. Again, I would never think of Turkey getting tornadoes. How weird. Look at it just wrapping itself around those. This is at an airport. How freaky is that? Yikes. It's not going to lift up those planes, although it's moving them. It's moving them. Oh my God, I wouldn't even think that would be able to move them. Okay, that's freaky. This is in 2019. Jeez. So they were recording from a bus, and it indeed tipped over. How freaking scary, man. My God. Right, and another tornado forming right in front of us in Italy. This is in 2021, so pretty recent. Look at that shape of that thing. It's so weird, right? That one kind of just touched down and... Oh, it looked like it was losing strength, but it's hard to tell. Sometimes they touch and go. This is in Cyprus. No way. There's tornadoes in Cyprus? This is what I'm saying. This is stuff I've never heard of before. I don't know much about Cyprus, but my assumption would have been that no, Cyprus doesn't get a lot of tornadoes. But apparently they do sometimes. This is crazy. How scary, man. Oh my God, it's blowing highway signs over. What in the world? Boy, a lot of cars, I mean, I'm not sure what you do here when you're on the highway. I mean, that's something I've never encountered. You kind of just, do you pull over? Or do you try and see where it's at? And I don't know. I mean, I guess your best bet's to pull over. You don't want to turn around and run away. Then you're going to cause like an accident. That's tough. That's very freaky, seeing it right on the highway, dude. Look at that. Oh my God. That is not a sight you want to see taking your commute on the highway. Jeez. Thing was skating right across. Portugal too? No freaking way. 2012. A tornado in Portugal. That is something I never thought I'd see. Wow. This looks like a soccer field. Jeez, man. Or a football field, I'm sorry. Football in Europe. How freaky. Jeez, that is not fun to look at, is it? That's just scary. Estonia. Oh my God. I guess we'll look at this one, then I'll end it. There's a lot that we didn't see here. Make sure to look at the link. Check them out. Jeez. That's just freaky looking. Oh, and it's coming towards the camera. That's not fun. As we can see some damage in 2008 in France from an F4. That's actually freaky. Yeah, that's the very not fun, sinister part. Tornadoes is tons and tons of damage to structures of all sorts, people's property, landmarks, and even worse, casualties sometimes. It's very, very scary. I guess my questions turn to you now. How often do you guys get to witness this type of thing? I would really love to hear if you've witnessed tornadoes from where you're watching from, especially if you're watching from somewhere in Europe. And, how is tornado protocol there? Do they have, I'm sure they have tornado sirens, right? Like we have here. I'm sure they might differ a little bit. And then, of course, the obvious, you watch the weather, you have your weather apps, we watch the radar. That's a given. What about I thought in the little research I've done in some videos, which I still want to do more, but when I've looked at, for example, German houses versus U.S. houses, right? I think it was brought up a lot that a lot of U.S. houses, or I'm sorry, a lot of people outside of the U.S. find it fascinating that a lot of U.S. houses have basements, which is true. Not all of them. You know, our house in the Southwest did not have a basement. They're not very common down there. But here up in the Midwest, around Illinois, Chicago area, basements are very common. And of course, that's your best bet. If you're in the house, tornado does end up coming here, that's what you're told. Go to the basement, right? Do you have basements in these places? France, Italy, Germany, right? As far as I know, from the little I know, basements are not as common. At least that's what I thought I've heard. So what do you do, right? I mean, that's kind of scary when you see an F4 tornado tearing through France. I mean, what's your line of survival there? You know, what are you supposed to do if you don't have a basement? Anyway, I found this very fascinating. I hope you did as well. And keep up the awesome suggestions and everything. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you here for the next one as well. That's all I got for you in this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all, stay safe out there. Watch out for tornadoes, and I'll catch you later.